Hi everyone, this is Galen again. Today I'm sharing a cotton plant card. I'm using watercolor pencils and I'm showing two ways of using them. And for the stamping, I have Unity Stamp Company Cotton Embrace. It's beautiful. It has a very large cotton plant here in red rubber. I also used, I stamped on watercolor paper and I used the script stamp that's in there and also the sentiment. And I sort of made a mixed media style background with it all, sort of layering it on top of each other. And then, so I die cut and pre-stamped the panel because I wanted to concentrate on the watercolor today. So for the watercolor pencils, you lightly brush. You can even use the side of the brush to add color lightly where you want your color to be. And then you use a flat tipped brush. The stiffness of the flat tip helps to move the watercolor outward. So I start with the color just with the pencil tip right at the start where the shading is. And that's the only place I add color. And then I use a damp brush to move that color from the base upward or from where the shadow is outward. And so I do this all over. So for the cotton colors, I'm using like a brown. I know that cotton fields, a lot of times the leaves are not green any longer when the plant blooms. So it's like a brownish. So I tried to do that hue. And then I shaded some of the areas between the cotton and the creases. I added another tan in that area just to give it a look of depth and not so perfect white anyway. So I was going for that creamy look, especially where the creases are. And so you just do it over and over. You just lightly add color, just a hint of color from the pencil. It doesn't take much. And then you use a damp brush. I dip it in water and then I tap it on paper towel just a little bit. And then I blend out that color. Now, the background, I just go on the side of the brush, of the pencil there, you see. I just swipe it on the side to get a very light pencil marking. And then I have a wet brush and I blend that out. The same brush, just blend that out on the sides. That's a light purple color. And I do the same for the right side, wherever I see that purple. That's just what I decided it was going to be. And then I'll do the same with a blue color. Now, it's best to first add the pencil color on dry cardstock. I have an area there to the left that was wet, and so it brought out more color there. But with watercolor, if you just add more water and work it in a little bit, it will lighten in that area. And you'll see, I'll go over it again a different way, but that just blends out, and I use some of that color for the bottom. And then this is a pencil tip to brush technique. With a wet brush, dab the tip of the pencil with your brush to add color. And that's a wet brush, and you just tap it ever so lightly onto that watercolor panel there. And do it as many times as you need to get the depth and color that you want. And then I think I just did this. I did it for the blue, and I'll go in and I'll do the same for that light purple color. And I let the colors bleed into each other. I just didn't want a perfect background. I just wanted it to be a hue of color. It looks prettier in person than it shows in the picture. And so I think that's what I wanted there. And so I go ahead and heat set that. If you're not in a rush, you can leave it out to dry overnight. It'll be dry the next morning. But I just, for sake of time, just went ahead and heat set that. I pre-embossed the background panel on purple cardstock. I have an embossing folder. Any embossing folder will do, but you can just use plain cardstock or pattern paper in the background. So I went ahead and used flat double-sided tape on that purple panel, and I use red foam tape. It's a very thin foam tape for the back because this is a watercolor panel and you need something extra tacky. This particular tape, the wide tape, helps keep that panel down and it keeps it from curling up on the edges. Because of the watercolor paper, it wants to roll up and move. So strong adhesive is suggested for this technique. There you go. I hope you like it and give it a try. Thanks so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.